Hi, this is Marina from Dark Star Astrology, bringing you the new moon on the 2nd of March. It will fall at 12 degrees of Pisces, decan 2. The major aspect is a sextile to Uranus. The fixed star is Alpha Hydrus, which is in Hydra the water snake. The tarot card is the 9 of Cups, which is the wish card. And the healing crystal I chose was the Smithsonite. So let's go through all the segments and come up with a conclusion of what this moon might be good for. So moon in Pisces decan 2 is actually really happy in that decan because it rules the decan by triplicity. And what that means is that this decan is actually the Cancer decan of Pisces. This bears out that it is very strong here because when I did the research, I found that it's had some very powerful and influential women in the field of medical science and healing with this one. And I also found that cloning came up for this decan as well. So I would suggest playing God, which is Jupiter's influence as well, because of the Pisces being ruled by Jupiter. With the moon as the womb of the petri dish, and maybe the moon here makes one want to dispense with God and spirituality altogether, despite Pisces 2 being such a religious decan. And the lesson here is to become your own guru, since we can feel rather let down by God and spirituality at this time. So I also found that Richard Dawkins has his moon in this decan, who wrote The God Delusion. And this is such I just think it's such a gross quote. But anyway, it doesn't really, he's really personifying God and not seeing it as a symbolic thing. But anyway, so he says, it's a horrible idea that God, this paragon of wisdom and knowledge and power, couldn't think of a better way to forgive us our sins than to come down to earth in his alter ego as his son and have himself hideously tortured and executed so that he could forgive himself. I mean, does he not think in a symbolic way? I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it, I suppose it kind of describes what happens with Pisces decan 2 when it really does just lose its connection with spirituality and it gets pulled into the kind of drug side. So what I think is the theme with the moon being in this decan, and this decan anyway, is exploring the question of biology and divinity. That's kind of issues with believing in God. But generally, natives with the moon here are a cheerful bunch who are at peace with themselves and confident in their talents to make their mark in the world. With Jupiter here though, because it's the ruler of Pisces, there can also be the danger of indulgence, so there are weight problems. So yeah, Jupiter also rules this decan as well. There are two rulers, so there's the moon and Jupiter. I also called this decan as a whole just generally victim, saviour and resurrection as well. So, there is a lot of religiosity in the decan as a whole, but I think the moon, the moon's meaning in that decan is more kind of questioning. So when you look at the aspects for this new moon, it's really sparse. I mean, all you've got is the trine. Well, there's a lot of conjunctions, that's why. So you've got the conjunction of Mars and Pluto and Venus, and that's pretty much a triple conjunction, so stellium. And that's all trine the North Node. Then you've got the moon itself, which is a conjunction, seed moment. But Jupiter's not far off, so there's a conjunction there. Oh, and another one, I almost missed that out, is Saturn and Mercury. So it's pregnant with seeds ready to burst open, really. Pregnant with possibilities, really, I think. And so here are the new moon aspects. So we've got moon conjunct Jupiter, which is fertility. Sun conjunct Jupiter, which is superstar. So I just thought I'd list the aspects and then put their keywords next to it. And if you go down and read them all, it really does seem it's quite nice. You've got fertility, superstar, unorthodox, live wires, sexy predator, that's Mars conjunct Pluto, and madly and deeply, Venus conjunct Pluto, and love bombing, which is Venus conjunct Mars. So all in all, when you look at that chart, it seems tame. It seems all kind of, lovely trine and sextile with these hidden kind of bombs. I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether it's a kind of like walking in a field full of, what are they called? Like landmines or something. That's kind of a negative way to describe it, really. I mean, I've titled the moon Wishes Come True because of the wish card. So it can look very pretty. There are the love bombs underneath. There's the madly and deeply, and there is a predator aspect here, and and Jupiter. But Jupiter is optimistic, and no matter what dangers seem to lurk, I mean, even Saturn with Mercury can be a little bit treacherous as well, because Saturn is a malefic, and when you put it with Mercury, it can be liars as well, but it can also be thinking very seriously and being careful with your words. It could be fearful of speaking out as well. So, there's always two sides to every aspect in astrology. So we'll just keep carrying on, and then we'll come to some kind of conclusion. So, so 9 of Cups then is the known as the wish card, but in terms of karma, the 9 of Cups can symbolically represent being rewarded after a period of hard work and effort. That could be Saturn with Mercury, I think. Whatever you've been working on has come to successful fruition, and you can sit back now and take all the praise and applause that you have rightfully earned. This is a quote from Teach Me Tarot, by the way. People now see you in a different light, and many will be envious of not only your abilities and skills, but also because of your wonderful inner light that glows in and around you. Wow. So yeah, this, I think, jealousy can be a negative thing, but generally, and I think the jealousy could maybe come from Venus conjunct Pluto as well. But the 9 of Cups, I mean, what's not to like? The picture, I mean, if you're just listening to this, is, if you know the Rider-Waite deck, is a kind of man sitting with his arms folded, actually, with a row of 9 cups around him. He just looks like he's kind of drank a lot. Or he's just proud of his success. Oh, it could be like cups that he's won as well, in a circle around him. But yeah, so like the phoenix that resides in this decan, there is potential for redemption and resurrection once you've served your penance. So yeah, I think that's it. If you pay your Saturn dues, and also Mercury with Saturn can be debt as well, because Mercury is about finance, is the merchant. So yeah, so that could be that. And with Achenar being such a religious star, which is also found in this decan, Achenar is at 12. It is. Achenar is at 14. So that's why I didn't list it as the star for this moon. But it's it's pretty close. It's just that it's exactly on Alpha Hydrus. So with Achenar, one can see the potential of suffering in early life, possibly through overindulgence or addiction, which is, again, the cups, too many cups, but then repenting and living a simpler life devoted to good works. Doing that could bring spiritual riches in later life. So yeah. Now the fixed star Hydrus is the brightest star in the constellation of Hydrus, and as the name is, Latin Hydrus, water, and it shines a clear yellow, and it's the male water snake. So I mean, there's not much written about Hydrus as a constellation, but Anne Wright of Constellation of Words, I really like the way she talks about the etymology, and she writes this. She writes that the link between hydrogen and water. So in 1766 to 81, Henry Cavendish was the first to recognise that hydrogen gas was a discrete substance and that it produced water when burned, a property which later gave it its name. In Greek, hydrogen means water former. And there's another constellation that represents the female Hydra, and that's the Hydra of Lerna, because Hydrus is the male one. So the etymology for these two constellations is intertwined. Hydra and Hydrus comes from the Indo-European root, which is wed. Interesting, wedding. So wed is water, wet. Derivatives are water, wet, wash, a body of water. Winter, the wet season. Hydrant, hydro, hydrus. Utricle, a membranous sac contained within the labyrinth of the inner ear, involved in balance. Also a small vestigial blind pouch of the prostate gland. God. It's also connected with dropsy, all these big words. Hydrathode, which is a water excreting thing. I'm not sure what a hydrathode is. Maybe some biologists will know. Anyway, so that's the connection with Hydrus. So now what's this all got to do with the moon? I mean, I just think it's part of the purification of Pisces, water. Water therapy would be a really good thing to do at this moon. But with hydro things, it does make me think of like blowing water as well. Like, like water, what are those water pumps that cleaning with water, like water pressure things, that kind of thing. So yeah, get it out, clean your patio, whatever. Would be a good thing to do at this moon. So now the new moon crystal is the smithsonite. And I think, to make the most of all this complex, dreamy, inventive and artistic Pisces energy that comes with this new moon, tune into this crystal. It's a kind of milky, it's blobby. If you look at a smithsonite, it looks like it's kind of underwater. And it comes in various colours, but mainly it comes in blue. So I just thought it just goes well with the Pisces energy. So it will help with grounding if you're finding it hard to contain any overactive imagination and paranoia. Those touched by this new moon could hold some of this crystal to avoid too much fantasy and melodrama without a finished product as well. As that's the thing with Pisces, they have this amazing imagination, but sometimes getting it actually crystallizing into some kind of form can be difficult because they get distracted or they just carry on dreaming. So I think this will help kind of crystallize it, literally. The smithsonite meaning is a healing crystal to boost psychic gifts, relieve stress, and boost your immune system. It aids being kind to yourself, and smithsonite works best for anyone who's so severely stressed, and particularly if you feel that you're heading for a nervous breakdown. This stone is well known for its ability to help you feel better really quickly. And this is a quote from Healing Crystals for You. If you feel like your world is just getting too chaotic and loud and you need a stone that will help shut out the noise and calm yourself, smithsonite can very well be the perfect stone for you. It's a stone for tranquility. It will ease your worries, relieve your stress, and allow your body to relax. It will help calm an overactive mind and let your body slow down. So now going back to the aspects as well, because I didn't really go into them in detail. So Moon conjunct Jupiter first of all. I mean, it's a very, very optimistic, irrepressible kind of energy. Now, people who were born with this often have quite a roller coaster childhood, can be emotionally extravagant, overreacting to things in very much a dramatic kind of camp manner. They can totally overestimate their capabilities, but nothing seems to put them off their goals. for them, or for us with this moon as well, it could make you think, there's no mountain high enough, really. Another thing with moon Jupiter, because, Jupiter is the big the huge protecting planet of the solar system, and moon is families. It is very much about protection, very nurturing, very warm, very generous to those in their care. But there is also the danger of going over the top and trying to indoctrinate their children to fanatically follow their own beliefs is very high. Now, when I was doing the research for this, I actually put like the baby Olympics as one of the kind of traits as well, because guess who had this? Moon conjunct Jupiter. You don't think of this as being a negative, evil conjunction, but Adolf Hitler had it. And he had quite, it has that sort of messianic feeling to it as well. And, it does come as a bit of a surprise, but it really fits with what he, his whole kind of approach to Germany being, the motherland, protecting it from all these external threats. Any threats to its survival had to be exorcised. And it's interesting, though, he never had children, but he had his golden children, his Aryan people. So what's really interesting about this as well is that moon conjunct Jupiter, literally, he gave financial incentives for Germans to have more babies, and each married couple were loaned 1,000 marks and allowed to keep 250 for each child they had. And parents of more than 6 children paid no income tax. So that's, the very moon Jupiter. And motherhood medals were even introduced. Wow. Bronze for 5 children, silver for 6, and gold was 7. Wow. So, that's breeding, that's fertile, that's the fertility side of it. So very fertile. But then it's fertility gone mad, isn't it? It's fertility gone mad. Now, at the same time, the moon is also trine Uranus, which is really unorthodox. So you've got the kind of traditional pump out those babies, let's be fertile. And then Uranus is totally kind of AI, it's totally unfertile. Very radical, very rebellious, revolutionary, and kind of quirky, unorthodox approach to family life. So we've got 2 very opposite energies going on. But I do think I think Jupiter overpowers it, because Jupiter is close to it in the conjunction. I think I said Uranus was trine. It's not. It's sextile, but it's a soft aspect. And the post that I was referring to, it looks at the sextile and the trine together. So, the thing is they are similar in energy, but the trine is a lot more beefy. The trine is more of a Jupiter aspect, so it's got more weight to it. But the sextile is more like a Venus, So there you go. So I think the fertility side is probably is stronger. But the other aspect we really have to look at is those 3. Mars, Venus, Pluto all together. So they are, this just seems like it's been going on forever. I feel like I've already talked about this. I think I did in the March forecast. But it's worth talking about here because it is going to be triggered anyway during the moon. I think the moon will highlight it even more, the new moon, because they all trine the North Node as well. So, I don't know, like with relationships, if they are all, the sexy predator side, Mars conjunct Pluto, you can't read it in isolation because Venus is kind of softening it, and they're all still in Capricorn. It's like, there's Pluto in Capricorn. it just feels like Capricorn's been so just very, very emphasized all for so long, and then it's going to then these are all going to move into Aquarius, and then they're going to trigger the 0 Aquarius degree as well. So so it's they're all Saturn ruled. That's the thing. The Saturnian taking responsibility for yourself is really highlighted whatever. And I was having a conversation with someone about, with these upgrades. I just wanted to mention that as well. And you see, a lot of people are like, just average people, they're kind of saying, oh, well, I hope by the summer it's all going to change and we won't need to have any more upgrades or anything like that. So then, then when we can travel. But the thing is, unless you say, unless we take responsibility for ourselves, you can't wait for governments to kind of say, oh no, it's okay, you don't have to do that now. I think you have to be proactive to, not go along with it. Otherwise, they're just going to keep doing it. It's not about waiting for them to stop. It's about you stopping, because they're not going to. So taking responsibility is very much the Saturn theme with these Saturnian ruled signs being so powerful at the moment. Now, as for the love bombing as well, and the madly and deeply, so see, these wishes coming true, what does that mean? Does it mean we just got to hope and wish, or do we we have to actually do some physical action to make these come true? Because there's all this, manifestation, and, I'll make a mood board, and it's easy to just not do anything when you do these things, because you think, well, if I will it strongly enough, it will happen. And it's true, you've got to have that positivity, and you do, but it's not enough just to kind of wish and hope and say, I'm feeling very passionate about this thing, but you have to actually do the work as well. And especially with the Saturn Mercury conjunction is definitely about doing it, hands on, get your finger out, as they say, and then these seeds will bear fruit, because they're not gonna sprout if you don't give it sun, and you don't give it water, and you don't give it your attention as well. So it's doing the physical plus the intention as well. Okay, I thought I'd look up the asteroid as well. I think I might add these to the moons, because they're always, I just love delving into mythology and the meaning behind names as well. So the moon is conjunct Cosima, which is the feminine form of Cosimo, derived from the Greek, meaning order and decency. Yeah, there's that Saturn again. Cosmo was the 4th century saint who was martyred with his brother Damien. They are the patron saints of medical doctors. So there you go. You've got the doctors as well. Okay, enough said. But order and decency, and get your health in order. Maybe get your physical health in order because of relationships, sexual relationships, really, because that's a question now for some people. For hygiene, all that kind of stuff. Get your house in order, really. And this is Pisces, and then for the next moon we flip over to Virgo. So we need to do a bit of a sort of spring clean, I guess. Water. Cleaning with water, that's the way to use it, and resurrect ourselves in time for spring, where everything goes kind of fertile and everyone starts coming out of their kind of hermit life and wanting to have a roll in the hay. And I think with that bunch, Venus, Mars and Pluto, people will want to be, well, I was going to say something, but I think they're ready to explode. Let's put it that way. The love bombing of Venus conjunct Mars could be, literal in a way. Not literal, yes, but not in a dangerous way. YouTube. I don't mean literally. But yeah, we all know that saying from narcissistic. Psychological is a psychological term, so then there's some of that going on as well, of course, because Pluto is a psychological planet as well. So I think I will leave it there. I think I've covered everything, and if you want to come to the website for the notes, you can. It sums it all up there, and really. What I'm doing with these moons really is sort of giving you the ingredients for the recipe and showing you how you can kind of use them, but it's really up to you what you make with it all, really. I'm not going to tell you how to behave, because it's really up to you, but these are kind of suggestions, really. So thanks for listening. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.